Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Thank you to those who have been subscribing. I do greatly appreciate the support. And then also follow on social media, X, TikTok, and Instagram. And thank you to those new followers as well. And I'm going to try and do more with my social media posts as well. So it's slowly on the way instead of announcing new episodes and so on and so forth. Okay. But it is Saturday. We're not Men United. Men's squad is not back until Monday with a game. We have the women's squad back tomorrow after a high international break. They're playing West Ham in the morning. So I'll be watching that. I'll be doing a post-game episode after that as well. So obviously United, both men and women playing West Ham this week. Men are going to be playing on Monday against Wolves. We already know what happened on Thursday with the draw with the men's squad. It wasn't necessarily I've already done the preview, so you can listen to it, or follow it on social media, or follow it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. But it is up there, and it does discuss the draw that we had, and there has been a fallout with it. Listen, today's episode is going to be a little bit longer than normal, previewing the women's squad against West Ham. Going to talk the Wolves match, which is on Monday. Also, might as well just kick it off with the fallout from the draw. People are basically considering it as a loss, and the Amorim out movement is stronger than it was before. I am still in. I know we still have things to work on. We need players. We need changes. Like, I don't know why people are now realizing that everything that we've done before is still here. The players are still here. They're expecting a thing to change. Well, we can't make changes happen until January with new players. The Kobe Mainu group is out there, still upset about Thursday. Obviously, with him not getting minutes. Obviously, the talks with Ruben. There's been reports of Ruben having a team meeting as well. So I will discuss some stuff as well. But listen, let's get into the women's squad. Let's get into the women's match tomorrow. They're back. Listen, before the international break, the women were their last 5, 2 wins out of the last 5, 3 losses. We lost to Villa, City, and then Wolfsburg. Getting a win with Brighton, and then getting the win against PSG. So this is where we are now. The women are back, hopefully rested, ready to go. Failing Tulis-Joyce is back for tomorrow's West Ham game, which is great. Patel, in her absence, did play well. Those losses were not just on a single player. That whole squad struggled in those losses. City struggled with turnovers. They struggled against Wolfsburg with massive turnovers as well. And let me just double check, because I was looking at their fixtures. And then, so Wolfsburg, City, back-to-back losses, and then we had Villa. So you had those there. Obviously, the whole team struggled. Beating PSG was great in Champions League. Not showing up against City, massive turnovers, just struggles. Again, like I said, it wasn't just one player. Everyone struggled. The attack, don't get me wrong, we did score some goals, but just the turnovers, trying to move out through the back, didn't work. We saw that there. Having Tulis-Joyce back, your regular season number 1 is good. She's off. She's healthy. She had that injury with her eye socket, so hopefully having her back tomorrow does help with the ball movement coming out of the back, getting the front 4 to get things going. Listen, everyone should be healthy, ready to go. Plus, we also have another Champions League game against Lyon in the middle of the week on the 10th. So right now, we want to make sure the squad is good to go. So it's to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm hoping for a win, like I do for every Manchester United game. But I would like to get back to what they've been known to do, like move the ball, use the outside, get the balls passing, control the middle, They've done good things in the attack. They did. And in those wins, they were in control with movement of the ball. But the one thing too is the one thing that's like, okay, sorry, I'm gonna repeat the one thing multiple times. Having them back means they were rested. What happened to them is during that period was definitely fatigue. It was like when you looked at it here, you saw the fatigue there. You saw it even against Wolfsburg. They were chasing. Started off fresh, but just the build up as the game went on, you saw them losing steps. It's great that we scored 2 goals. Great. But in that second half, everything just fell off the rails. Tire fell off the car. Everything was just not working well. So having them rested does help them. Some of them did play international duty, but having everyone back healthy and ready to go going into the next couple games. Because again, we have West Ham tomorrow, Lyon on Wednesday, Sunday against Tottenham, Juventus on the 17th, and then Sunday we're playing Tottenham again. So in the next, what's today? Well, tomorrow's going to be the 7th. So in the next 14 days, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Again, the fatigue is going to be there. And I know the women's squad is ready in the next stage for Champions League, but we can't let the fatigue hit us, especially in the Super League. We have to make sure we're still going. So Skinner needs to work on rotation. We have to make sure everyone's rotated and make sure we're good to go. He has to prioritize the games. With Lyon and Juventus coming, rotation is going to be key in those games because, again, health, durability, and then we want to make sure that we're good to go for the league as well. We've already secured a good spot in Champions League. We're there. So for tomorrow, tomorrow's a fresh start. Everyone should be back. But the next game after that, that's when you have to manage that. Again, like I mentioned, tomorrow's the 17th. We have a game from now until the 21st where it's going to be a total of 5 games. That can take a toll. I know we're on a fresh, after that, it's a couple weeks off again, back in January, but over the next couple games, rotation has to be key. Not just 1 or 2 pieces there. You have to do more with the rotation. And depending on the type of games that you're facing, you want to make sure you're getting the right squad in. Not only that, domestic cups, I believe, is starting soon for the women's squad as well. So you want to make sure that they're prepared for those types of tournaments too. So we have to make sure everything is good to go. So, actually, yeah. One of them is that the Tottenham game. That's why we're playing Tottenham twice, is because one of them is Women's League Cup. So we have Tottenham and Man United in that. So, yes, all tournaments are going to be there, all competitions. So we want to make sure, again, durability. Obviously, that Women's Cup is the last game before we go off. Obviously, we're playing Tottenham the week before. But again, durability, rotation, you want to make sure everything's there. But going into tomorrow, I want them to see them get back to what they were. Tomorrow is an important game. We want to make sure that they are ready to go, healthy. Again, having your keeper coming back is key. You're probably going to go with your usual starting squad. And honestly, you're probably going to, well, with everyone there, you're going to look at your back 3. Obviously, Riviere, Letizier, Janssen, Sandberg on your back 4. Your middle, you're going to possibly have Elatoon back. Obviously, you're going to have Park up front. You're going to have a Rolfi out on the wing. You want to make sure that you're controlling it. Mitsuzawa in the middle as well. Owojo could be in there as well. So my apologies for mispronouncing the name. But we want to make sure that we're good to go. But yes, having Joyce back, Riviere, Chissier, Janssen, and Sandberg obviously is going to be your back 4. You can also throw in George there as well as a starter. But yeah, Miyazawa there. Owoju, yes. And then obviously having Jessica Park there. And then you're up front. You have, like I said, depending on how he's going to look at it here, like a 4-2-3-1. Like again, Mizuzawa and Roju in the middle. Then up front, you can have Park, Toon, Rolfie, and then you have Maillard up front. So it's just a matter of how to look at it. But listen, Skinner sees them every day. He knows what he wants. He knows how he's going to attack. But having them fully ready to go is key for that. And again, like I mentioned, rotation has to be key for those next games. So that's the one thing. Health, make sure everything's good to go. Hopefully Riviere, who definitely took some near the end, she looked exhausted before the international break. Everyone looked tired. That's what it was. When you looked at that Wolfsburg game, everyone looked tired. So everyone should be refreshed. This has to be a redemption game. This has to be get back on track type of game. We've lost 2 in a row in the Super League. So you have to get yourselves back to it. Like, you have to be able to move the ball, use the wings, use the attack, moment through, carrying out from the back to the middle, up to the front. The one thing, too, is the backs, Riviere and Sandberg, the way they've moved it up on the side, giving it to the wingers, getting crosses in. That's what they've done well this season. So right now they have to be able to control all aspects of the game. So it is tough when you had that stretch near the end, only 1 out of your last 3. Yes, we can talk about 2 wins out of your last 5. Still, it's not helping. They struggled with Villa. Villa was able to shut them down. The one thing too, again, like I can keep reiterating, fatigue, and it's the struggle. But tomorrow, I would like to see them get back to the basics, get back to redemption, controlling the ball. That's what we have to see with the United women's squad. So I'm hoping for a win. I will discuss the game after as well. The game's at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Canada, so I will be watching the game. And then my usual post game, as I always do with Manchester United. But yes, that's what I'm looking forward to see. I'm happy that the women's squad are back. I know during their international break, I did not touch base with them. Now that they're back, obviously you're going to try and get some more rotation in. Tuesday, after Sunday's game, I will be back Tuesday doing a preview. Because again, they're playing Lyon on Wednesday. The men's squad are playing on Monday with Wolves. So my schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be a busy week. So I'm not going to be used to maintaining my normal schedule. But yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll have 3 episodes there. Well, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll have 4 episodes in a row. You might not see me again until next Saturday for a new episode. Skip the Thursday, go to the Saturday for the preview. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you're going to see me back Saturday, because again, men play on the 15th and women play next Sunday against Tottenham. So try and get out as much as I can with the episodes. But excited to have the women back. Looking forward to tomorrow's match. Skinner's got to, again, tomorrow he's going to have healthy to choose from a good pot. But as the games progress, we have to look at the rotation. So that's the one thing managing. Tulish Joyce hopefully is good to go with the basically out a month. Hopefully she'll be ready to go, movement, getting the ball out, working with her back four, getting things right. Again, that back four, the last couple games struggled. So hopefully everyone, this is a redemption, a rebound game. Get yourselves back on track before Christmas. Get yourselves ready to go. There is also a cup game as well. So you want to make sure they're all in good spots. Rotation. That is the key for the next few games as well. Okay. Again, this is a busy episode. Lots to cover as well. I'm gonna do the post game. I'm gonna do the preview for Wolves game, which is on Monday. And then I'm going to be discussing basically the fallout of the draw from West Ham, because the last couple of days there has been a few things going on that is just getting everyone rounded up, not just in the media, even on Twitter as well. You're seeing certain things. But all right, let's get to the post game, or the post game reaction of West Ham, what it's led to. Okay. It is, yes, Saturday, Monday, we're playing Wolves. Preview's going to come in a moment, just like I mentioned. But here we are at a point in the season. Listen, when we came back from the last international break, we had won before we went. We had beaten Liverpool. We had had a fantastic game against Brighton. 2 draws. So Sunderland, we won, international break, come back, win at Liverpool, beating Brighton, draw against Forest and Tottenham. Obviously, the Tottenham and Forest games were not the best, especially when we had leads at the halftime. But now we're at a certain point. We had another international break, came back, we fell on our face to Everton, losing to 10 men. We beat Crystal Palace at Selhurst, which is good. Winning on the road is fantastic. And then we drew against West Ham, and obviously the loss against Everton and the draw against West Ham happened at Old Trafford. So here we are now facing that. Obviously, we're still been fantastic. Again, when we look at the men's squad, you're looking at the last couple games. I'll be looking at certain things as well. I'll get to a certain point. But okay, I'm just going to get one thing right. I just want to get back to the fixtures for the men's squad because it's important. Sorry, too many open windows, not enough stuff going on here. So I want to get their last fixtures. So United's last fixtures: draw, win, loss, draw, win. So of our last 8, we have 1 loss, 4 wins, and then 3 draws. Listen, the results have never been the best. And obviously when the games have been on the line where we can move up to that top spot, we've obviously faltered and said we shit the bed. There you go. We would shit the bed. And have the men's squads been struggling? Yes. The whole Amorim out movement. Again, I am still Ruben Amorim in. We know what needs to be changed. We know that it's going to take time. Basically, everyone jumped for joy when we beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield. Coming out with a win the way we did against Brighton. The draws. If this was any other time, we would... There are chances are we would have faltered. Some of those games we probably would have came back. Everton just showed how how mentally poor we were against that. Crystal Palace was a great fight coming back from West Ham. Yes, you can question, and people are talking about a back 5 against Everton. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a formation where we don't play a back 5, we're playing a back 3. This back 5 that we're seeing here, Mazraoui, we didn't have a back 5 because we had a back 5. Ahmad would have been in that back 5 when we did the changes, but Mazraoui is a wingback, Dorgu is a wingback. They are not defenders. Their job is to play in the middle and transition between offense and defense. And not one time we play a back 5. We're always playing that back 3. Sometimes when you're looking at the game and depending on how things are going, yes, it may look like a back 5, but we never played an actual back 5. They struggled. The mentality of this team when the game is there is weak. We knew that. We saw their struggle there. But now, where we were in last year, and I even saw it during last season too with Ruben, there were improvements. There were. We saw it during the season when we played certain teams. We saw the improvement of what needed to be done. And Ruben's managing a team that isn't a finished product yet. Anyone can go after Ineos, all this stuff. I saw a rumor that the Glazers are coming in and they're looking to take over, and then they're going to fire Ruben Amorim. I highly doubt that. We are in a good spot. We're playing Wolves on Monday. These players need to show up. These players are down tools. Let's look at it here. The player power, I don't know if there is one, but it has to stop. Kobe Mainu, listen, we know what Kobe is capable of. We really do. And obviously the news has come out. Obviously Kobe didn't get any minutes. Obviously the post-game press conference with Ruben when he was asked about Kobe Mainu offense. Listen, we had players come on to protect the lead. Those players failed. And let's not pretend that Kobe's never came onto the field and we have failed. Let's not pretend that. Let's not pretend that he hasn't been on a game either where we have given up a goal. Because there has been struggles there. Brentford, he was on and we struggled. We've had games go where there has been struggles. And he has been on substitute. And yes, you can talk about Ugarte, about his stat every time he's come on. Let's look at the other players who are on there too. Thursday's draw. That is not on. Like, again, you put the players into position to help you protect the win. That's what you did. You helped protect the win. Everyone except for Mazraoui pinched on that free kick, on that corner, and let it bounce. Mazraoui got the first save. Unfortunately, he couldn't do anything about the second. But look where it was. Like, where is the blame to all those players? Where is the blame to Bruno, Ahmad, Casemiro? Where is the blame to, Mount as well? Like, there were players there. Lenny Yoro, Mazraoui. There were players there that didn't, I shouldn't bring in Mazraoui because Mazraoui was the only one that didn't move. But where was the rest of them? That was a failed defensive scheme. It failed on them on a set piece. That was there. Where is the blame? Why are you bringing up substitutions when everyone who even started in that game was some of them were there to defend? Mount didn't defend at that point. You had Mbuemo, who was no one picked him up. Everyone pinched. Everyone except for Mazraoui and obviously Lemons, because he has to put himself in position to try and get the ball. But nobody. Everyone wants to look at substitutions. Everyone was to blame on that corner. Everyone was, and it's the truth. It had nothing to do with substitutions. It had a lack of accountability on the players. We again, like, nothing against Kobe, great. And I know everyone keeps talking about what he had done 2 years ago, or over a year ago, sorry. It's great what he did at the Euros, yes. What he did at the FA Cup, cool. We know what he did this past year for Ruben in certain moments. But when we've needed him to do those spots, he has struggled. He hasn't. He has. What he needs to be in the system, he's potentially possibly not even there yet. So would I send him on loan? Yes. Am I happy with the way the fan base is being right now? No, I'm not happy with that. I know how long it's going to take. I really do. It's going to take time. Everyone's going to talk about why didn't you bring on another offensive player? Like, to be fair, Licha came on and helped move the ball and gave opportunities and passes to get the ball into their box and try to score. We saw that there. We know Licha can move the ball and help with the transition out of there. Part of what Thursday was, and I mentioned this too, was an earlier substitution at half. That does play into a factor. Because again, I'm sure he wasn't hoping that Aiden Heaven would get a yellow in the first 7 minutes of the match. Which means you're hopefully looking at it here, hopefully he doesn't do it. He did improve his game and he wasn't taking reckless moves, but at halftime, you bring on Lenny Euro and here you are. You're in this position there where now you have to look at everything. You have to look at the movement. I know Cunha had just come back. Xerxes, again, our offensive attack wasn't really moving well. In Buemo, some certain set pieces were there, cool, but not our attack was working well. There were some issues. We didn't have opportunities. There's some nice saves. Stats are the biggest. Like I said, stats are great, but stats can be a massive lie. But Amorim still needs to remain. I'm happy that the board is still backing him in Ineos to get everything going. They have to. They have to do, like, they're going to back him. It's going to take time. People are worried now about Champions League. Right now, we're at a certain point of, like, Ineos, the Glazers, are the reason why we're kind of in this mess. The debt and not selling players that we needed to get rid of. And whether the story is about Bruno Fernandes, it's hard to say. It really is. But we're at that point where we still have opportunities to take advantage of. Right now, we're in a difficult point of, by the way, the board and everyone knew about AFCON. We have no depth in pieces there to help with our attack going forward. We're going to be with the same players almost like last year. We have to hope that Sesko is ready to go in about a week and a half, or even in a week. We have to hope that he's ready to be there for Bournemouth. He won't start, but he has to be ready there. Mbuemo, Ahmad, Mazraoui are gone, which means we're missing important pieces. We need Harry Maguire back. The fact that we have Leach coming back is good, but hopefully we have De Ligt ready to go as well for tomorrow and back, because again, missing pieces, depth. We have Aiden Heaven, which is great, cool, but Dorgu, Dallo will be there. You're probably going to see some academy players potentially get a start. That is key. But right now, we have players who need to start stepping up because, again, we're going to be in a very important point. And this is on Ineos in the board. It's not on Amorim. Amorim wanted his players. He knew who he wanted. But we're about to go into a stretch for a month or over a month where we're not going to have important players. We're not. We're not going to have Mbuemo. We're not going to have Ahmad. And we're not going to have Mazraoui. We're losing a corner. We're losing a wingback. And we're going to lose one of our 10s. Yes, this could be an opportunity for Manu to start. Cool. Great. We can move Bruno up to the attack. But rotation and having those pieces there are also key as well. Because again, if one of them get injured, that puts more of a hurt on us. It does. So looking at it here, when you're planning an attack, you can have players who are interchangeable, which is good. But at the same time, too, we have to look at what's going to happen. We have to get everything organized. So, listen, the ownership has not done a good job. Amorim is going to set something up that he has here that's right. Because again, we're missing Sesko. Rasmus Højlund was sold. Rashford's gone, but Rashford wasn't working well. Obviously, we know about Garnacho. Yes, I was okay with that sale. I saw him liking and with the whole Paul Scholes thing. But right now, players are going to need to step up. And Manu is going to need to step up when he gets those opportunities. He has to do what we need him to do. But there's a lot of stuff that Manchester United have to do in the next month. Because I think tomorrow, like Monday, may be the last game that we see Mbuemo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui for the month. Because that 15th Bournemouth game, I don't think they're going to be there, even if we try to push it. I think that 15th game they have to report, and all of them are gone until the 18th of January. So we're going to be struggling. And that is a tough time to struggle because Bournemouth is playing well. We have Villa, who just beat Arsenal today. We'll be playing them on the 21st. The 30th. Who do we have on the 26th? We're playing Newcastle. We're back to Wolves with the 30th. Leeds on the 4th. We have Burnley on the 7th. And then it's interesting that we're getting Wolves twice. And then City. And then you hope that those three aren't in the final. Well, they all play for three different teams. You hope one of them is back sooner than later. But yeah, and we're in a difficult situation going on. So, but we're in a bind, just to say the least. Right now, we're in that certain bind. So, I'll leave it there. I'll go into some other stuff. I'll leave it there. I can talk about this another day, especially with results and everything post game. But Yes, the Amorim out just needs to end. Like Ruben, he has every right to stay. This guys, we're in December right now. Right now we need a January transfer window. You guys are thinking that we've already done the transfer window. We have the players there that need to be done. And there are fan bases out there that know we need pieces. People thought when we beat Liverpool, went on that type of run, that we were back and we were going to be going straight to Champions League. That was in fucking October, ladies and gentlemen. It's like in fucking October. The league is not. We're not winning anything in October. We weren't winning anything in October. Like we sound like Arsenal that beat Real Madrid last year, jumping for joy. The team was still there. We knew what the struggles were. Those struggles, we still had struggles in those games. The one thing that's great about what's happening now is the mentality and all this stuff is there. But right now we're going into a trap game on Monday, and I'm going to discuss that preview of that type of game that we're about to face momentarily. But with the way the mentality is, the way this fan base is going, we're setting ourselves up to just say, screw it. Let's just let Wolves walk over us and just forget about it. But Man United, though they haven't dropped any losses, they have gained points. Those draws seems like losses. But let's be fair here. When we came back from that last international break, people were saying that we're getting 21 points in our next 7. No game is easy. And like I've said, I don't care about the following games. I care about the one that we're going to be playing. And right now I only care about Wolves. So we're going to move on from this and get into my segment with my preview for Man United Wolves on Monday. Okay, so Monday's game against Wolves is being set up as a trap game, in my mind. Let me know what you think. But yes, this is a trap game. I've referenced it before. It's just the way things are going with United and the type of team that Wolves are. It is setting up that Wolves could eventually take a W from us. That's what it is. I'm always going for the win. And I'm hoping that my next 2 episodes, I'm discussing a Man United win against West Ham for the women's squad, and Monday night, I'm talking about a win for the men's squad. That's what I'm hoping for. But we don't always get what we want. But going into this game, it has that feeling like I mentioned. Why? Because, our players play down to our opponents. They're not going to go out there and expect whatever. They know what they need to do. They need to finish. They need to have discipline and consistency. I always do say this. Why? Because they don't. We've been consistently not being able to close out games. We haven't been able to finish opportunities, and we consistently have been in and out, not been successful. So, yeah, I'm going to preach that. Consistency, discipline, and finish. We always go through this. But this squad, I'm going to say it, they're mentally weak. And as much as we have acquisitions and everything as well, this game, this player's leadership have not been able to close it out. You can talk about the manager. You can say about substitutions. But let me tell you this. The players that are there, that are on the field, that are assigned tasks, they don't complete them usually. You can talk about this player being on and then all the goals are conceived, but when we look at that corner on Thursday, you see everyone but Mazraoui pinched to where the ball was going. Everyone left a man unmarked. That was what led to the drop. But let's talk about substitutions. That we've had errors where we've had our starting lineup there, and Amorim got the gist of it because he didn't make the right substitutions at the time, or he didn't make any at the time. But right now, we're at a point where the players need to start stepping up. And I know I mentioned before, and the Amorim outers and everything, this game is here to show what our players' mentality is. This is an important game for Wolves and for us. Wolves need to get a win because they haven't been playing well. And a draw may satisfy them, but a draw cannot satisfy Manchester United. A loss definitely would be chaotic. And the way the fan base, the media is pointing it as, we're at the tip of the iceberg. And this squad is the reason why. This squad has had opportunities to try and score and win, but they cannot. They can consistently fail on the pitch. Yes, as much as we've had only 1 loss in 8, the draws that we've gotten have not been great. We have had struggles in some wins, but we've always known along what this roster was. everyone jumped on as soon as we started being Liverpool and so on and so forth, and everyone assumed that we were back and we're going to the Champions League in October. But let's dismiss that and look what they need to do. Listen, I'm going to have my lineup. Amorim's going to have a set of players, but we are going into Wolves knowing with trouble. That's what it is. Am I confident that we can pull it out? I'm always going to go for a win when it comes to Manchester United. And like I've said, I'm hoping that Monday I am discussing wins about our women's squad and our men's squad. That's what I'm hoping for. But right now, these players have to show up. They have to be able to score goals. They have to go in knowing that they shouldn't be playing down to their opponent. They should be playing their set of ball. But the mentality of these players, I shouldn't say all the players on Manchester United, but the mentality of some of them that affect those other players is weak. Should I say cowardly? Hard. That's kind of tough to say, but I would say yes, because these guys are not doing what's right for the squad. They're not doing what's right for the club, their manager, everything around. We may not know everything that's going on, but we watch them on the pitch every week. And we know that they tend to just falter, and it starts from stem to stern. Like, our captain has to be the leader in this game. He has to know what's going on. I don't care if he can run a marathon in a game. What I care about is his discipline, passing the ball, moving it forward, and following the instructions of his manager, and making sure everyone around him is following those same instructions. He has to rally this team back if they're in trouble. I don't care that last year at this time we were collapsing with certain games and that we've been maintaining. I don't want that satisfaction. I want to win. I want that win on Monday. I want them to close it out. But this team here, this squad, it's going to be the squad that I'm choosing. You know what? Some of these players know how to do it, but some of these players just, cannot do it. And I don't care if you're playing out of position. You've been assigned there to do that position, and you know what needs to be done. No flip-flopping, no throwing hands, no erratic tackles, no cards. You have to play disciplined football. And unfortunately, we don't get that. Sometimes it is on Amorim. He is the manager. But these players here cause probably more issues that we go towards the manager for than we actually should have. But again, there is player power. We can discuss player power. I don't want this preview to be about this in a rant. But these players here have to step up. That's what my preview is. Listen, we know Wolves have struggled this season. They've had 2 draws, 2 points. They're at the bottom of the table. And listen, we know how Man United have been playing. We know that we're basically setting up for, that Wolves can actually get their first win against us. Is that concerning? Yes. But if the Wolves were to get their win, and I hope if they do get it, it's well deserved. But this says more about the players than it does say about Ruben Amorim and Ineos and all of them. It says here these players cannot handle pressure and close it out. That these players struggle when the game is on the line. And it may not be every player, but it's going to be certain players to point at. And that is the concern. These players here have to realize that every game is important. They cannot look past this game, because I guarantee it, Everton, Crystal Palace, and West Ham, every game those players look past it. Guaranteed. The fan base was. We know that. But we know the mentality is, well, we're just going to go through Everton. No, we can't even show up and do anything against 10 men. We'll beat Crystal Palace. Okay, cool. Set piece is done. But we still couldn't do anything on the attack or anything with our movement. Going to West Ham, well, we'll go up 1-0. But we'll take those opportunities to try and score, but we can't score. We can't control the game, and so on and so forth. And we let the teams back in. And those players that are given assigned duties falter. They do. So let's go into there. And listen, they have to show up on Monday. I said before, with the women's squad, who's coming off of a tough break for Super League and Champions League, they need to have a redemption game. As much as we've drawn and won our last 2, we had a draw and a win in our last 2, how about we show up? How about we get our redemption here? This is where we step in and take control and play our best game. Because right now, everything leading up to this game is showing that there is a potential for a loss. And I always say I go for the win, and I'm hoping for the win. and I'm hoping to discuss a win on Monday night's episode. But if this squad cannot control the ball, invite teams back in, which they do, and none of this 5 at the back or whatever, like, they need to step up and be there. They have to. They didn't do 5 at the back against Everton. It was 3 at the back. You had players in positions at wing backs. They did not close everything out. The players failed. A lot of these games have been on the players. Sometimes some of them have been on the manager. But for the mentality of this game, not being able to close out and go through it, they need to go. So these players need to show up on Monday. The players that I'm choosing for Monday's match, listen, the signings of Lamens, Embuemo, Cunha, I've been fine with. Same with Sesko. It's just stuff that Sesko's out injured. It's going to take him time to get himself back when he's back from injury. But looking at this game, like here, Mazraoui, De Ligt is expected to be back, and Shaw. So having those 3 there, Ahmad, it's going to be Ahmad, Casemiro, Bruno, and Dalot in the middle, and then my upfront attack. We're going to go with a similar attack like we did at the beginning of the season. Mount, in Cunha, and Embuemo. That's what they have to do. Listen, we have to move the ball. We have to be disciplined. We have to be controlled. We cannot let the midfield be overrun. We cannot have players running around. We need to make sure that we're in control. And unfortunately, we've been struggling with that all season. Like Shaw has been great. He's been okay, but he has been struggling as of late. So again, this is what I think, but chances are we may see adjustments. We may see Euro instead of Shaw. Like that would be a good back 3: Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Shaw. Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Euro. Listen, I would like to have Manu get minutes. Casemiro, he can be taken off for Manu. Ugarte, who has struggled getting Dorgu in so he can get minutes because he's young. Xerxes, I know I'm not bringing him in. But we may see him get some minutes as well, especially with players leaving for AFCON. And you want to make sure he starts getting himself into the system. Will we see academy players? Maybe. Hard to say. We may see them on the bench. But the one thing I want to make a comment on, actually, you know what? I'll leave that comment after I'm set to leave the episode. But these players here have to be able to move the attack. They have to be able to move around, pressure, move the ball, capitalize on those mistakes. They cannot let them be overrun. It's not even about being overrun. It's just making sure these players do not invite the Wolves back in and give them opportunities. That's what it is. These players have opportunities to close out the game and move the ball. They have to be able to be there. This Man United squad has been struggling to try and close out games. Like I mentioned, consistency, discipline, and finish. We don't see that in the last few games. It has been terrible. So these players need to step up on Monday. This preview episode sounds like a downer. I do apologize. But the way things have been going, it has every right to be. And this type of game here has a right for me to set up this type of tone. So, listen, Lamens, he's been fine since he's been signed. Embuemo, he's struggled the last couple of games, but hopefully for a rebound back. Cunha, hopefully gets him a step. This is an important game for Cunha. He's going back to his former club to play against them. Mount, he's great for that 90 minutes, but he has to be, fit and ready to go for Monday as well. So hopefully for that attack, but that's the lineup I'm going with. I'm just going for the win. Be comfortable, be consistent, close it out. So I'm going to leave it there for my preview for the discussion. But yeah, the one thing I was going to mention about the academy players now. Listen, we do have academy players. Some of them might be ready. Some of them might not be. But the one thing too is Amorim is always not using the academy players. There's always a reason potentially for that. He's had them on the bench, but to bring them on, and he wants to protect them. And in this environment, for what's going on in these type of games, he has every right to protect those players, those kids. These are young kids. If these kids go on and not do what you expect, I'm not saying what the manager expects, what this fan base expects, they will be torn apart. They will be. They're going to be shredded and they're going to be targeted. Not when I say targeted, they're going to be, used and broken down, and they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about the players. Why did Amorim use academy players? Why did he bring them on? He's not ready yet. Well, this fan base wants academy players to play, but he has every right to protect those players from making sure that they're ready, make sure that they're actually ready to go in for this type of game. Because Harry Moss, he used him last year. The reason why Harry Moss is out on loan right now, because Harry Moss wouldn't have gotten minutes. Maybe he would have gotten minutes at the wing back. We could have seen that. We may have had that potential of Harry Moss getting in there for that, especially with what we're struggling with right now. But if other academy players came in who have not made their debut, who have or are not ready yet to handle that type of pressure, he's trying to protect them from the media, from the fan base, to make sure those players are able to succeed properly. And that is the one thing that's a manager needs to look out for. He's not just looking out for their stuff. He's looking out for to make sure that they're protected and they're able to handle everything when the time is right. And some of these players you will see in the FA Cup. We will probably see academy players in the FA Cup. So looking forward to that when the time comes. But right now in certain games, we want to make sure those academy players are protected and that they're able to handle the pressures of the badge, of going into the game, and also of this fan base as well. Listen, that's it for today's episode of the pod. I'll be back tomorrow with the post game of West Ham. I'll be back Monday as well with the post game against the Wolves. Hopefully, again, I am talking about 2 Manchester United wins, so we're hoping for that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the games. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.